everyone, and welcome back to another episode of MotoGP 21 here on this channel. This is part number 4 of my career walkthrough. Now, before we jump into today's race, I just want to say sorry about the poor sound quality. I forgot to turn off the mic on my controller and it picked up some extra sound, so it may sound a little bit dodgy here and there in the video. I do apologise for that. I'll make sure that that won't happen again. But anyway, let's get straight into today's episode. This is a circuit that we haven't raced around in the MotoGP calendar, so it should be a really tough one. So let's get straight into it and see how we do. Right, so here we go with our first lap around the Algarve circuit in Portugal. Let's see how we do. Now, the objective for the track study is a 153.3, and so far someone's put in a 152.9, so I'm not sure how quick I'm going to be or how quick it's going to take me to pick up the circuit. I might have to really use all these practice sessions and hopefully not shred the tyres like I did in the previous race, so I don't have the right tyres for the race, which almost really put me in a difficult position. So let's see how we do. There is some really tricky corners on this circuit, and this is one of them. This is always one I really struggle on. We're like a million miles away from the apex there, but let's try and stick to the line that is on because of the development tests to sort of gauge where you need to be. Quite close to the apex. Oh, run it a little bit wide there. Don't want to be getting on the curbs. You don't want that extra vibration as you slow down into that turn, because you will lose the rear. I've done that many times on ride 4. Let's see if we can get this corner right. You need to start. It's a bit of a blind turn, that one, and we're really wide. But, we're on the circuit. We haven't lost it yet, and this is a really tricky one as well. And you want to be as tight in as you can. That's that corner. That ain't too bad. I will take that. And now this long right-hand turn. This one is where you can really win a race, but you can always lose it. You will see some lose it on this bit here, as it just changes there. You just feel the back suspension go up, and sometimes you can lose the rear, but that wasn't too bad. So this is our first lap, and we're going to be able to gauge how far we are off the other riders time-wise, and come to the line. And that's our first lap, a 152.3, and that puts us in the lead for now, so that is not too bad. Oh, you pillock! Oh, bloody hell, I hate that. Right, so that's the end of the first free practice, and we didn't really get a quicker lap in. Really struggled, but we have made some adjustments to our setup, so hopefully in the next session we will get quicker. I'm making little tweaks here and there, which you have to do, so let's get straight into it and see if we can put in a better time. Just got to get nice and tight on this corner. This is definitely going to be a better lap than we did in the previous free practice session. We've still got plenty of time. I think the fastest time in the first session was a 151.8. So if we could get close to that, that will put us in a good position in the session as we come to the line. And, oh, that is definitely much better. Right, that is the end of the session. That was so frustrating. Twice I was almost on for a better time, but I crashed out right at the end of the circuit, which is annoying. So we finished 5th fastest in that free practice session, which is good because that means that we're in Q2 and we don't have to do Q1. But we definitely need to step it up if we want to get close to the fastest times set by Pedro. So let's get straight into the qualifying. Right, so the fastest times in the last 2 sessions were around the 151.8 mark. So if we can get faster than that, hopefully we can get at least front row, because that is what we need to do to achieve our points for our team. It's not a bad start to this lap. Once again, once you finish the development test and you don't have the line, my times definitely improve. I just find that sometimes it just tells you to slow down a little bit too early, and we're definitely getting better on that turn. As I say that, we butcher the flipping corner again. You need to get tighter on there, even if you slow down a little bit quicker. Still don't know what sort of tyres I'm going to go with yet. They definitely chew up really quickly around here. I'm even considering hard, but I don't know whether that will be the best idea. I'm not sure, and just front wheel down is always a little bit of a problem. It's going to be even harder to win on the more powerful bikes as we come into this section. And the adjustments I've made to the setup, I definitely have improved my times on a lot of the sectors, which I'm really happy about. But I definitely need more practice around here. I don't think it's going to be perfect today, and I don't think I'm going to win today. I think if I can get top 5, I will be happy, or anywhere near close to the podium. But I think it's going to be extremely tough to even think. We just haven't got the pace, and this is the thing. It's going to take a while. Someone's crashed again. And this is definitely going to be our fastest lap. But is it going to be quick enough? That was a good last sector there. Is this going to be good enough? I think it may be. And we get a... Oh, look at that. Well, how about that, guys? It looks like we're going to take pole position and we put in a decent lap time in when it counted. But how are we going to translate this into the race? 5 laps around this circuit. Tyres are going to be chewed to pieces. It's not going to be easy, but let's get straight into the race there. Here we go. Right, just before we jump into the race, I'm just going to show you the settings that I'm using. I did make quite a few adjustments today, and we definitely need to change the tyres. I was going to go with a hard front and a hard rear, but I think I'm going to go with a medium front. I will change that in a second. But feel free to pause the video as well, guys, to copy the settings. I mean, this wasn't a perfect setup, and I still haven't made adjustments to transmission. I don't think I'm ready to start playing with the gearing yet, but all in all, it wasn't bad, and I definitely improved on time-wise. So let's just get straight into the race today and see if we can compete for one of those top spots. So here we go. Right, so here we go with today's race in Portugal around the Algarve International Circuit. Let's see if we can get a good start using Power Mode 3, and we're off. That is not a bad start, and we need to get into that first corner in the lead if we can. Drop it back down to Power Mode 2, and that is a good entry into that turn. We want to be as close to the apex through here. They're really good on this corner, so I always try and go tight in and force them on the outside. That was nicely done, and there was a crash there, no surprise. There's going to be plenty of them on this circuit today. That is a really pleasing start. Now we're really going to have to manage the fuel really well around the circuit. Some really decent straights. Let's see if we can just overshot the corner a little bit there. But we've managed to just hold it. We've got someone not far behind us. Old Pedro is on it. And he was really good in most of the sessions, to be fair. So he was definitely consistent. And he's going to come up and just trying to hold him off. Really battling hard on this first lap. Let's see if we can just... He's going to go on the outside here. And just backed off there. I wasn't going to go side by side. Bloody hell! 2 other riders came around there as well. We managed to avoid both of them. Wow, that was a really good move there. Just trying to battle as hard as I can. Just carrying the speed through that turn, and this isn't a bad first lap, to be honest. Now they're mainly all using medium, and I'm using a hard rear. I think that is definitely where I'm sort of struggling a little bit. I mean, I think our fastest lap time was done with mediums. I just didn't want to risk it. Sometimes you take a risk and it doesn't pay off. And sometimes you play safe and you struggle, so it's just one of those things. But that is definitely going to work now with the power mode, and we've managed to catch him up. We're on the outside, but he is going to come quite fast into the inside here. Yes, he's leaving his braking a little bit later than us, and he's managed to carry the speed through there, so that is a really good corner. Right, let's just try and get tight in again here. We want to stick with Pedro as long as we can. That's a tricky turn. Just trying to not accelerate too hard out the turns, because I did that quite a few times in the qualifying and I lost the rear completely. And that is a much better corner. And to slowly feed the power on again. Back up the hill. And I think with this circuit, I just think it's all about positioning, just knowing where you would need to be. And again, we just carried it a little bit too much through that corner, but we've managed to bring it back. So I'm making mistakes, but I'm not being punished just yet. But he is starting to pull away. We've got to stick with him as long as we can. We know that we can put in fast times, and again that was a little bit of an error, gone a little bit wide and then cutting back. Just keep an eye on the tyres, but I think our tyres should, like I said, they've gone from medium at the rear and I've got a hard, so I'm hoping that my tyres will come good towards the end of the race. So again, we need to slap it into power mode 3 as we get round the corner and see if we can draw him back in again on the straights. So we still need to, we do need to improve the frame of this bike though. It's one thing I'm struggling with. It's not too bad on the power wise, and top end just lacks a little bit of the turning, especially at the front. It's a little bit awkward, and that is not a bad lap. As we go into lap 3, still trying to push. I think I'm going to bide my time. If I can stick with him until the end of the race, and hopefully try and make a move. As long as I don't get too much bother from behind, and again, just try and carry as much speed. Again, just clipping the curbs there, and you don't really want to be doing that. That does slow you down quite a bit. Right, let's get turned in. Again, carrying a little bit through there. Just trying to just coast through the turns as much as you can, using the engine braking. Just try and take as much through these corners again. Look at it, they get so much tighter through those corners, and that's where I think the bike lets me down. But we're holding firm. But, we've got someone not too far behind us, so again taking that really wide. Flipping out! I thought I could hear him. Looks like he, Pedro again onto the curb. Don't want to be doing that. Careful, careful, careful. I just felt the rear go a little bit loose at the back there. And as we get into the laps, you can see the tyres are really starting, especially on the right side of the tyres. It's going to be extremely low as we get into the final stages. We're just losing touch. We're still in a podium position, so we can't complain. And this is a little bit of a faster lap. Definitely have to go a lot quicker, so that is a 151.5. And we're not the fastest. The rider in front of us is running the fastest laps at the moment. Again, just catching those curbs where you don't want to be catching them. And ooh, he's having a bit of a look. He knows, oh, flicking out. Did you see the rear then? Just went a little bit loose then. Lucky I didn't come off. Moto 3 bikes really are so much more harder to handle than they used to be. You could absolutely rag these around the corners before, but now they're not as forgiving. And again, that's not too bad. Again, maybe I'm just feeding the power on a little bit too soon out the turns. It just feels a little bit, especially on the right side of the tyre, but then if you look at the front, it is rather low. Again, just under braking. Let's go back down the hill. Come towards the end of the 4th lap. And we've got one more lap to go. Just overrun that turn. It's one I haven't done too bad round. Be really tight in here. Try and power it. Just push it. So if we run in power mode 3 for a little bit longer on this final lap, we might be able to catch him, but I think at the moment he's got about 1.5 seconds on us. It's quite a lot. So I'm not sure whether we're going to be able to do it. I'm going to try. But look at that front tyre though. Bloody hell. See, his front tyre must be like that as well, but surely they haven't got much on the rear either, on the mediums. So just try and take as much through there. We're going to just run it a little bit wide. Got to try and manage these tyres. Again, it's a little bit better. trying to push it, just doesn't want to. It's just trying to squeeze the power on. It's just squirming around. Just don't want to be on that right side of the tyre. And again, we've overshot that corner. Being a little bit worried about applying the brakes too hard, especially when you're on a turn angle. Just dabbing them a little bit here and there. And I don't think we're going to catch him. I'm trying to push as hard as I can. So if we can finish in second, that wouldn't be the worst results for our first race around the Algarve International Circuit. Again, just struggling for grip, especially at the front. We're all right on the left side of the tyre. But we're going to have to be so careful on this bend now. Look at that tyre. There is literally not much left. Final, and we have got quite a few bikes behind us. We can't afford to make a mistake here, as we just back off the throttle there, and we should be all right now. But yeah, that was a really tough race, and we just didn't have enough to win it. But overall, I'm not too disappointed for our first race round there. If we had just a slightly better frame on our bike, I think we could have won it. But we did a 151.5, not as fast as what we did in qualifying, but it wasn't far away from the fastest time. So all in all, not a bad effort. And I definitely will record the last lap as well, as I've been doing on the other videos as well. Right, so that is the rider standings. We are still leading on 95 points, but Pedro is catching up after that win, and our Honda Team Asia is in second place. But yes, that was a really good test. And we know that the bike needs some work, definitely. So we're going to try and get those upgrades. We need to do more of the development test to get some more points, and start looking at our team as well, whether we need to hire some better people as well. But all in all, 4 races in, I'm quite happy with the way things are going. And I think it's going to be tough this year. I think when we get onto the faster bikes, some of these circuits, there is some really tough ones in the calendar. I think we go to Spain next, Jerez, so that'll be a good test. And we normally, every time we get normally at the start of this career, we always get that circuit, or we get France in the wet. So yeah, it is we go to Spain, and oh, we've got an upgrade as well, but we've still got one going on the frame. So let's try and speed that up. So we're not going to have that ready for the next race, but hopefully we have it for France, for Le Mans. But yeah, we do definitely need to get that up to speed. Right, that is the end of the episode, guys. So in the next episode, we head to Spain for Jerez, praying for some dry weather, but we will probably get rain. It always happens for me there. But it's another learning experience as well, to get used to the bike in the wets. A greater challenge, but we will have a better engine for the next, but hoping that we get that frame upgrade soon, because that is one thing that I am struggling on. But anyway, guys, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and I will see you for week 16, Jerez in Spain, for another awesome race.